to be second nature for all property and construction professionals out there in the UK. What we realised in doing that and in listening to our members was we didn't actually have a full picture in one place of how far we've come, what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, and really what is the actual state of sustainability within this sector. So we set out to bring together all of the research and the data and the evidence that already exists in a multitude of places that's trying to do just that. We pulled that together into a series of infographics 6 months later, which sit on our website, which we titled The State of Sustainability in the UK Built Environment. So these interactive infographics have all of the most reliable data that we could find around the UK built environment's impact on 5 different issues. The first was climate change, both mitigation and adaptation to climate change. Second was resource use. The third was nature and biodiversity. The fourth was health and well-being. And the fifth was a broader bucket, which was sort of socio-economic impact at large. So many of our speakers this morning contributed actually to that data set, so I'm not going to steal their thunder by giving you the facts and figures that they'll no doubt talk about. And all of those, as I say, are freely available on our website for everyone to kind of access and get their heads around it. But what I would say is that despite quite significant progress in some areas, we found, perhaps unsurprisingly, 2 big conclusions from that piece of work. The first was that we have an inconsistent approach to measuring our progress as a sector as a whole. So our ability to take a kind of strategic, sectoral approach to sustainability across this built environment sector is limited because of that. And the second is that the UK property and construction sector clearly has a very long way to go before it can be deemed truly sustainable, just by virtue of the sheer scale and severity of some of the impacts that are still associated with those activities. So to paint the picture in more detail, I'm delighted to introduce our panelists this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce all 5 of them, and then I'm going to let them come up one by one rather than popping up like a yo-yo. So first up, we're going to have Adrian Galt, Acting Chief Executive of the Committee on Climate Change. Adrian joined the CCC as Chief Economist in 2009 and has overseen much of their analysis and advice on carbon budgets and annual progress reports for the UK as a whole. Next up, we'll have Louise Clark, who is the Head of Sustainable Places for major house builder, the Berkeley Group, where she's responsible for setting sustainability strategy for the group. And Louise is also a member of the Green Construction Board and the CIC Diversity Panel. Then we'll hear from Dr. Stephanie Ray, who is an environmental consultant and president of the Chartered Institute for Ecology and Environmental Management, and her career spans academic research, teaching and consultancy. And next up we'll have Yannick Giesekem, who's a research fellow in energy, materials and climate policy at the University of Leeds. He focuses on material efficiency and industrial energy demand reduction. And finally, we will have Bill Dunster, who set up the Z Factory in '99 and has been advising and lecturing on zero carbon design all over the world, pretty much, and is currently a visiting professor on zero carbon urbanism at both UCL and Cardiff University. So speakers, you'll have 7 minutes each. I will be strict on time. I will let you hand over to each other, and then we'll come back for Q&A and hopefully gather your questions, audience, and we'll have a good debate. So Adrian, over to you.